What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Game Time Live, a Monday edition of Game Time Live. Of course, we were live yesterday for the main Sunday show where we interviewed Walter Offit. Thank you once again to Walter for coming on to the show. We've had some good feedback on that interview. And then also make sure probably tonight, Game Time After Hours with myself. We'll be covering the NBA a little bit more this week. Shout out to Austin Reeves, 51 points. Getting the win over the Kings. I didn't think we were going to win that game yesterday, so shout out to him. And another shout out to our wonderful partner, Mack, Gadis at State Farm. If you need any insurance help, right? If you get injured, like a lot of these NBA players seem to be right now, you need some coverage, right? So make sure you get covered by Mack Gadis, our good friend Mack Gadis. His info will be down on the ticker below once that pops up on your screen. But I am also here with the biggest Alabama fan you're going to know for the rest of your life. It is Darrell. Darrell, good to have you in the building, man. Great interview yesterday. Obviously, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to hit on all three sports today. We're going to talk some NFL. We're going to talk some college football, and we're going to talk some NBA. But as always, as the wonderful host that I am, I will let you start us off with the topic today.
Man, how do I come back after that great introduction? I mean, I think there's some people down in T-Town that would say they're bigger Bama fans than I am, but the one up here in Indiana, I'm a pretty big one, so I'd admit that. Man, where do we start? Yesterday, as a recap with that conversation we had with Walter Offit, it was an enlightening conversation with a sharp young man that shared a lot of personal challenges that he had in his teenage years, and then going into his early adulthood. So I thought that was really good of him. It showed a lot of character on his part to kind of share and open up to us, which I really appreciate for sure. With that said, yesterday, right? We talked about, we just, spitball a little bit yesterday. Then, when the show ends, yesterday evening, we get the news that Brian Kelly is no longer head coach for University of Louisiana State University. Like I said, I'll never pine for somebody to lose their job. Just won't do it. But with that said, for starters, I told the LSU fans and faithful 4 years ago, be careful what you ask for. You might be getting it. I said he was a phony. I said he was a fraud. And I said he was a guy that loves to point the fingers at those not himself. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing all these news reports where people are saying this exact same thing where I hadn't saw it before. Now, I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anybody else, but they were what I'm saying is those fans were ignoring the facts. What they saw was 10 wins at Notre Dame year in, year out, and a national title beatdown by the Tide in 2012. They were thinking, man, he's going to bring this to Louisiana State University. And what I've said on this podcast, I've said elsewhere too, LSU stands alone on its own with regard to recruiting and their cachet. LSU has a stronger cachet than the University of Alabama does. When you go to LSU, you're going to get defensive backs, you're going to get receivers, you're going to get running backs. You're going to get the strong defensive linemen. But what you're not going to get, for some reason, for whatever reason it is, you're not going to get great offensive linemen, and you're not going to get a quarterback that's generational that you've homegrown. I'm not counting Joe Burrow. He was a transfer. I'm not counting Daniels. He was a transfer. Other than that, you really run a rough time trying to find that guy, right? So what I would say to this, LSU, don't get desperate. You don't have to be desperate. You're LSU. You stand on your own. There's a lot of names being thrown out. The LSU faithful are telling me, we want Nick. We want Nick. Stop begging. You're the most arrogant, overconfident fan base there is. Now you're asking for Nick to come and save you after you clowned him when he retired 2 years ago. So be careful. Be careful, LSU fans. You'll get your coach. His name is probably Lane Kiffin. If I'm Lane Kiffin, if I'm got Florida in one hand and LSU in the other, yeah, give me Baton Rouge all day and twice on Sunday. Not because of their collective or anything, but he has the ability to walk in there and walk into a 9-man team with confidence.
Yeah, he could walk into a winner immediately.
That's not the case at Florida. So I would, that's the one part I want to hit on that. Again, no one's feeling sorry for Brian Kelly today. He's walking away with about $53.5 million as a going away gift. So I think he'll be okay. I really do. Who knows what's next for Brian Kelly? If he wants to stay in Power 4, good luck. He's been exposed over the last 4 years, and I think he'd have a tough time getting back to a prestigious Power 4 job unless Penn State is really desperate and they want to get a name.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Brian Kelly. I'm interested to see where these schools decide to hire from. Obviously, I know you, Brandon, and JB definitely probably threw out some really good names on the show yesterday. I am not the biggest college football know-it-all, right? I love watching the sport, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I have an idea of who could get hired, right? I've thrown out some names on the show, but for me, as somewhat of an LSU fan, me and you have always been on the same agreement when it came to Brian Kelly. I thought the same way. Obviously, we all said, right, oh, they've got the talent, right? And I think this year you've seen that talent on display, but at some point, right, and at this level, the coaching matters. And the coaching matters on the pro level too. But at this level, you need a coach that, as you have said before, can take blame, and Brian Kelly struggles to take blame. And I think, we said he can afford one Kellyism. He can maybe even afford two, but 3 strikes and you're out. And and somebody put it on X on Saturday. They were like, I've never seen Baton Rouge taken over by another fan base. Well, A&M was running deep. The Aggies were running deep inside Baton Rouge on Saturday. And as we put out a video a couple weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago now, are the Aggies the best team in the SEC? That has continued to hold strong. That video has continued to be proven right time and time and time again. So props to you, Darrell, because you were the one that had said this originally.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, right? So back to the LSU and the fan piece, right? The Aggies took over because the LSU fans that gave up. The LSU Tiger fans are, for a night game, are one of the best fan bases in the country. For that stadium to be taken over by the A&M fans in that second half of the game tells me a lot of tickets were sold by LSU fans to A&M fans. And then when they realized what was happening by the end of the third quarter, those big fans, they left. Those LSU fans left. When you looked in the fourth quarter and you saw about 8 minutes to go, man, I didn't realize they had bleachers there. I thought they were all seats. But now I know, because I saw all these bleachers that were empty in Tiger Stadium. So I think the fans gave up on Brian Kelly. I think the players kind of said, you know what, this isn't going to work for us. And I don't think that game was ever in question, even though it was a lead for LSU going into the second half. That game should have been 21-9 going into the half at worst for A&M. A couple of fluky things happened, but A&M came out in the second half and put their foot in their throats and didn't let up. So again, not the grandstand, but I just absolutely think A&M is the best team in the SEC, and I think that gap is bigger than maybe some have maybe even talked about. I know there are a lot of Bama fans saying Bama's won in the SEC, but what was on display Saturday night for A&M, that young quarterback, that strong defensive line, and that skill set of players that they've got about 5 guys that run 4.2s. They got about 5 guys, maybe 6. So right now, as a Bama fan, I'm hoping A&M slips up somewhere, because I don't want no part of Texas A&M. Anybody else in the SEC, I don't want any part of A&M right now, unless it's in the championship game or the playoffs. Then okay, you got to deal with it. But other than that, I don't want to touch them right now.
No, that's fair. That's fair. We're going to see what happens as we get down the stretch. College football will continue to get more interesting. We're getting close to November, which means, we get to Thanksgiving and it's going to be last week before the conference championship games and stuff like that. Michigan, Ohio State, USC, like a lot of the USC Notre Dame already happened, right?
Yeah. But
But
you got Bama, Auburn. You got the cocktail party this weekend with Georgia, and Florida. In 2 weeks, you got LSU and Bama. That's a big one. And the reason why that's going to be a big deal, it's going to test the mental fortitude of the LSU Tigers.
Yeah,
they got a week to mull over this before another coach fired before the bye week, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. If they go in there and lay an egg, they could get ran out of Bryant-Denny Stadium. They could potentially get ran out of there.
I was gonna say one thing about Brian Kelly. My bad, I'm grabbing my charger. One thing about Brian Kelly that I think may be his best skill, and you'll agree with me on this, is his recruiting. He kept the talent level at an LSU quality, right? He brought in a lot of 5-stars. Obviously, there's a 5-star from Warren Central that went there. That was recruited by Brian Kelly.
Who's a strong chance he may be packing a suitcase.
We'll see,
and hopefully heading east. That's my hope.
I think that's probably one of his strongest suits is his recruiting. I think whoever brings him in, I think their recruiting could probably see an improvement depending on where he goes. I was gonna make a joke and be like, yeah, he can't win nothing, so have fun at Bowling Green, but that's just a joke. So we'll see where he ends up. I don't think it'll be Penn State. I don't think it'll be any of the big jobs that are open right now. I could see it being a smaller Power 4 school that opens up, probably in my opinion. I don't know what specifically he's going to be offered. How much is Penn State and Florida interested in him? If I was Florida, I wouldn't be interested at all, because look what he's doing at LSU, unless you're just happy with his recruiting, which I guess for Florida, that may be a somewhat viable reason to bring him in, right?
They've been recruiting now, and they've been recruited well. I don't think it's the recruiting piece that the Florida's challenge is. I think it's between the lines.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I think
he maybe takes a couple of years off. Counts his money, sipping Mai Tais in Hawaii somewhere. Maybe that's what he's doing for a while.
Yeah, fair enough. And then, Lane Kiffin, right? His daughter dates one of the players at LSU. I
don't think that matters.
Lane Train finna roll into it's gonna roll into Florida, it's gonna roll into Gainesville, or it's gonna roll into Baton Rouge. One of the two.
I don't think that his daughter's situation matters.
I know.
But it's kind of a nice story, funny story. but man, like I've said, he's not an Oxford, Mississippi guy. You can say what we want, maybe closer to Baton Rouge because of the coast and all of that. But Oxford, Mississippi, the closest thing to Oxford, Mississippi is Tunica, and Tunica's shutting down. That's a casino area for I don't want to get it. Anyway. Point being is, I would see him more at Baton Rouge, just because of the talent level. Florida, because it's Florida, no state taxes. I get all that, but everything else is expensive in Florida. So I say Lane, he goes to LSU, but the dark horse would probably be Florida.
Yeah, I think
if he leaves,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, college football, it's getting more and more interesting. Sorry to our people on Instagram. This is the second live in a row where Instagram will not just connect over. So we will more than likely cut Instagram out probably by next Sunday, and we'll probably move over to Facebook. I tried Facebook today, but I gotta be an account for a couple more weeks apparently. So YouTube and X, thank you guys for the support. We will continue on here with the show. Darrell, where else do you want to hit college football wise? Obviously, I don't have too much to hit on with college football. For me personally, I'm kind of letting the season continue to roll. Obviously, we had the show yesterday, but is there anything else you want to get off when it comes to college football?
No, just rivalry weeks are coming up. There's a lot of talk about who's the best team, who's not the best team, who are the 12 teams going to be. I tell you this, there's been a lot of talk about the Indiana Hoosiers. Well, they haven't played anybody. Last year or the last 10 years, they didn't do this. And
doesn't matter no more.
Nothing to do it right now.
Yeah.
They stomped a mud hole in Oregon. They stomped a mud hole in everybody they played this year except for Iowa. Curt Cignetti is on a roll right now, and he's not stopping. He's not apologizing for dominating teams, and he shouldn't, right? Because if anyone had an opportunity to beat Indiana like they've done over years, and stomp them, they did that. This is a little get back for Indiana and Curt Cignetti, and I love it. I love the fact that he talks a talk, but he's backed it up. I didn't like it in the beginning because what have you done? Well, now you've got your 2 years in, and this is a cycle now. So this isn't like he was able to bring in, 25 transfers that were 4 stars plus from across the country. This is still Indiana. This dude's coaching his butt off, and it's time for people to respect that. So I look forward
to
I look forward to Indiana being a part of the Big Ten championship, and it's a decent chance if they get there to the Big Ten title game, we may head down there and check things out in person.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a great time to be in Indiana, right? Colts are rolling, Hoosiers are rolling. Fever went to the conference finals. Pacers obviously went to the finals. Pacers. We're not going to talk about the Pacers today, though. Obviously, there's a lot going on there.
Hey, I think tryouts are at 4 p.m. today for the Pacers. I may have a couple of jump shots left in me.
I may have to spot up. My biggest issue is traveling, but I think I'll be good now.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Listen, man. The way things have kind of worked out with regard, to the injuries, and everybody's got them, so no one's feeling sorry for the Pacers, especially after the run they made last year. But the real life, issue is you got to have enough good players on the court to win. And right now, the Pacers don't have enough good players on the court to be able to win. They're 0-3, and this is why I don't like getting too far into the NBA so early. Now, you remember our playoff standings. Now, if the playoffs were to begin today, the Bulls will be your number 1 seed, Sixers will be number 2, and Hornets will be number 3.
Yeah.
Is that enough to tell you let's wait till January?
Of course not.
Of course not. So then, with that said, teams that are out of the playoffs: Hawks, Magic, Celtics, Pacers.
Well,
all teams we said.
So I don't think.
Hold on. All teams on our countdown said would be in.
Very true.
Said that. And all I'm saying is we got to let the dust settle. Let's talk real serious about it for me in January. But I'm gonna let you do your overnight because I know you're a night owl. I'm sleeping and getting my rest for the next day. But you go ahead and continue with that. There's a whole lot of ball to be played before we make these decisions. The Hornets are a 3 seed right now.
Hey,
the Sixers you remember you clowned the Sixers. You clowned them.
I very much did. I said keep an eye on Edgecombe and Maxey, though. I did not. I did say
about the team. I ain't talking about the individual.
But still, I did mention that before.
I talking about the team.
Before just wanted to make sure we get that. I
think you said lottery. I think you said lottery.
No, they were in play-in tier. I didn't have them in lottery. No, I didn't have them.
All right.
Only teams I've gotten lottery are the Chicago Bulls and the Garbage Nets, the Brooklyn Trash, the Brooklyn Dumpster Fire.
I'm still gonna find out what you got against Brooklyn. I mean, you are clearly have some axe to grind against the New Jersey Nets. You can call them Brooklyn Nets all you want. They've always been the New Jersey Nets for me. Some's against them. I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna do some digging. I gotta talk to your parents and find out what's going on. There's some type of scorn, pain somewhere that Isaiah Hoffman has when it comes to the New Jersey Nets.
I don't think so.
Maybe someone went to Atlantic City that and lost all their money. I don't know, but you're mad at New Jersey for some reason, and I'm gonna find out.
Well, we've got NBA content still. We're not gonna. We've got. I am gonna show Darrell my updated tier list today as well for it, but it may get updated later tonight. So make sure you do check out Game Time After Hours. It's a show that I do at about 1 o'clock at night. After all the
2
NBA
o'clock in the morning. Don't even try. Don't try to.
Well, there was an episode that was at 2 o'clock in the morning, but the other 2 episodes were around like 1 o'clock. So make sure you guys do tune into that. Here's what it will look like when we go live for that show. So, recorded. It's an recorded show.
When you go live,
we still need recorded content. So I thought I'd make a little recorded show. It's more for NBA, but we may talk about Monday Night Football on there tonight as well. You never really know. But Darrell, before we can talk more about NBA, it is time for the Zay's Ways NFL tier list. Yes. Yes, we are here. Zay's Ways NFL tier list. Let's go ahead and prop this bad boy up on the stage for the fine folks at home. So we start in the NFC, and I am keeping things the same here. Long way to go. I've got the Giants in the Saints. I want to give my well wishes to Cam Scattaboo. Absolutely graphic injury. I feel horrible for Jackson Dart. He seemed pretty distraught after the injury. It's a tough break for a guy that was really playing well for the New York Giants. Darrell, you could see the culture, the motivation. You could see that franchise with those two players alone. You could see the culture changing week by week, and it's unfortunate to see Scattaboo go down.
Yeah, that's tough, man. They showed that injury over and over and over again. Very similar to what Godwin went through last year. My only issue is this. I didn't see a lot of outrage last year when they showed Godwin's, over and over and over again. But yesterday there was a lot of people. This is ridiculous. Why would they show this again and again? It's the same thing on injury, man.
Well, on Red Zone, they showed it, I think, twice, and so they were showing something because I was getting my hair cut, and we were sitting there. Red Zone was on, and they cut from the play, and you can hear it in. I forgot what's his name. Who does Red Zone? How am I forgetting?
Brian.
I forgot his name, but basically, you could tell he was distraught and something had happened. And he was like, "There is an injury on the field. It's Cam Scattaboo," and he paused. He was like, "And it does not look too good." He's like, "We are going to show you this warning. It is graphic." And they
tough,
showed
right?
it. Yeah,
and it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, right? When these players sit out and they hold out for more money because their contracts aren't guaranteed, so often the criticism is greedy, selfish player, right? You've all heard it. You should do it for the love of the game. It's an honor and a privilege, right? And yes, I'm gonna use this as my platform to complain because it's not an honor and a privilege. Look up the word privilege. There's no NFL player that's privileged. Those guys bust their hump 11 months a year.
Yep.
That young man's career could be over at one play. When those guys sit out and say, "I want more money," just hold your horses and not call them these names when you don't know what they're going through. I respect the players, what they do, and the fact that they've got the worst union of all mankind. It's not, it is their fault. But with that said, I support those guys when they hold out for things just like this. This is going to affect him from his next contractual perspective. Because remember, he wasn't a first-round pick.
Yeah. And the worst part is, and I don't know if you saw it, he was like, "All right, help me up." And everybody's like, "No, bro, we can't help you up." Like there's no helping you up. Like, that was rough. Obviously, the Saints are also in tier 5 as well. Tier 4, I don't know. Vikings and Panthers. Now, maybe I should have dropped the Panthers back down, but they're up and down, ebbs and flows. So it could be worse. So I've got the Panthers there. The Vikings look absolutely horrible on Thursday Night Football. But to counteract that, Carson Wentz shouldn't have been playing. I mean, the dude was getting hit, looked in pain. I mean, he had a torn labrum, for goodness sakes, and they had him out there playing.
What else you do with the guy? I mean, who's the third string guy?
I don't know, but man, Carson Wentz, you're a trooper. I mean, I don't know if by the third quarter, is it even worth it?
He looked pain, man. He looked like I don't want any more of this, but I gotta give him credit. He put his helmet back on, man, and went right back out there, man.
Yeah. Tier 3, wild card. It's a little bloated here. Commanders, Cardinals, Falcons, 49ers, and the Chicago Bears. Bears lost yesterday to the Ravens, so I don't know. Maybe they need to be brought back down as well. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to hoist my cause for concern because I also was looking at the standings, right? The Bears are sitting third. They're one game behind the Lions. I don't know how to gauge this, right? So the Packers are 5-1 and the Bears are 4-3. So how many games are they technically behind then, right? Are they behind one or are they behind two?
Well, they're two even, but they haven't played head to head yet, have they?
No.
So that will matter because they'll have two games.
So they're still in the. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say they're still in the mix, so I haven't dropped them out a wild card yet.
My only issue with yours, what you got here, it'll be the Falcons. They're 3-4, and they've had some bad.
That's
losses.
fair.
They've had some bad losses, and everyone thought they were going to run roughshod over a Miami team that was teetering on not just benching their quarterback, but firing their coach. And the Miami Dolphins came out and put their foot, you know where.
Yeah.
And there was 34-10 wasn't that's not as that doesn't indicate how far apart this game was. Yeah. Bijan Robinson, I think, had 40 total yards, I think, if I remember right. Pretty much nothing, right? You've got it just everything went bad for them, right? So I would say this. I would say just, for my take, I would probably drop Atlanta one notch. But they still got a chance to turn it around because they do have a talented team.
Yeah. Playoff teams, Cowboys, Seahawks, and Rams. I was thinking about dropping the Cowboys after the loss to Denver. They can't seem to get 2 wins in a row, and they also can't seem to get 2 losses in a row. They sit behind the Eagles that are 6-2. The Cowboys are tied with the Commanders at 3-4. So not looking too good in Jerry world. I'm still pretty high on Schottenheimer. Offense wasn't bad, but the offense definitely could have been better. But it all comes down to that defense, and that defense got torched by Bo Nix yesterday.
But Nix and that Denver team is
they're good
and better each week.
Yep.
What they did to the Giants in that comeback, what they did against Philadelphia. The saving grace for Dallas is they've got these next 2 games. They're home against the Cardinals on Monday night next week, and then they've got the Raiders on the road in Vegas, and everybody knows Vegas is a Cowboys town, so they basically got 2 home games, one against one of the worst teams in the league, and one is against a team who's kind of middling right now. So they've got an opportunity to come right back to get right for the Eagles, Chiefs, and the Lions. In 3 games in a row, you got Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I gotta win these 2.
Yeah,
gotta win these 2. So then there's a chance maybe you can sneak up on one of these other teams. It's going to be tough for them.
We've got no things to say about Seattle and the Rams. I mean, both of them, I think, are playing really well. Let me look here real quick just to make sure. Yeah, Seahawks are 5-2. They're tied with the Rams. So both of these teams are rocking and rolling. I've got no complaints. They should make the playoffs as it stands right about now. Top of the tier, not even changing one bit. Eagles, Bucks, Packers, Lions. Nothing changes there. It's been that way for the last couple of weeks, and I think it'll continue to stay that way. I'll see what I'm going to do about the Commanders tonight. They play the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. If they get a win, they'll be 4-4. Maybe they'll probably stay in wild card tier, but they can start stringing some stuff together. They may be in luck.
Hey, nice shout out to the Eagles yesterday, man. You got that receiver from Ole Miss, who I still won't say his name, didn't play yesterday. Jalen Hurts looked comfortable. He looked relaxed, not pressed to get the ball somewhere he didn't want to necessarily get it to. 4 touchdowns, just under 200 yards throwing the ball, and they found the running game back. That guy named Saquon Barkley had a hell of a game. What a concept! The run game being so complimentary towards one of the best teams in the league. And it was a great win for them yesterday, for sure.
Forgot to edit my top 5. Give me just a second. I'm looking at my notes real quick so I can fill that out, and then we will.
As you're doing that, but still, my take is still the same. Lions. I think the Lions are looking better and better and better. I'm impressed with what they've done over the last week and a half. What they did against the Bucks last week on Monday night. Then you've got next week they've got some a tough game coming up. But I'm just telling you, I really like what the Lions are putting together. And again, I'll say it again, they didn't miss a step losing those 2 coordinators or those game pass game coordinator or the defensive backfield coach. No, I don't think they missed a beat because I think they've got the most powerful coach in the NFL. When I say powerful, I mean his words strike chords with his players better than any other coach, even the great Mike Tomlin. That's where I put Dan Campbell. I put him a notch above from a words and from what his players will do for him. Above the great Mike Tomlin. That guy's got great words.
There it is. All right. Strong words there. High praise from my co-host here on the pod. Tier 5 AFC, long way to go. We've got the Dolphins, the Titans, the Jets, yikes, and the Raiders and the Ravens twice to emphasize how bad they have been this season.
The Ravens won yesterday, man. You got to maybe just put one on there. They want to listen. They weren't scheduled to win that game. We didn't think
they can stay there. They can stay with twice.
I didn't think they'd win that game yesterday with Snoop Huntley as the starting quarterback. They won that game, and that was a good win for them. You got to give credit where credit is due. I'd still keep them in that same tier. Yeah. I would just remove one of their names, right? Yeah. But that's me.
Props to the Jets for their win yesterday. Obviously, a member of the Jets passed away yesterday, Nick Mangold, 41 years old. You hate to hear that. Rex Ryan with a touching segment on Sunday Countdown. Unfortunate to see a little poetic justice there to see the Jets get their first win on the season after that news. Happy for Aaron Glenn and that crew getting a win. Hopefully, we talked about it, right? Does Aaron Glenn lose his job after this year? I would hope not.
No, I don't think so.
But it is the Jets. I won't rule it out. But no,
they got a bad roster, right? They got a bad roster. We thought it was better because coming off of you allowing Aaron Rodgers to leave. But again, they got to get some changes done there. But it was a good win for them, and the fact that they hung in there after the owner called out the quarterback like he did. That says something about Justin Fields that I've always said all the way back from when he was in Georgia. Yeah. Man, the guy he seems like a humble young man as he's gotten older. Obviously, he's gotten older. Man, he's easy to poke holes in. He's easy to blame, and that's happened. But again, he came in and he played well yesterday.
Tier 4, Texans and the Browns. Browns probably need to go down one. I'm not going to disagree with anyone that says that. Texans,
Texans had a good win yesterday. You got to give credit where credit's due. They beat the 49ers, and I know the 49ers have some injuries. I get it.
Yeah. It don't matter, though. Texans are gaining on Jacksonville, and that's really all that matters to me.
Still got to win. And they put the clamps on them. This wasn't like a 39-37 game. This is 26-15, and the 49ers were scraping to get everything they could.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you. I like Houston so far. They're clawing back after a rough start.
My guys, man. I was high on Houston in the beginning of the season, and patience, right? Yeah. Sort of like playing fantasy football. Just because you lose your first two doesn't mean you're out of it yet. So
welcome back, CJ Stroud. All right, tier 3, wild card. I've got the Chargers, the Jags, the Bengals, and the Steelers. Sorry, Brandon Reef. I had to drop them this week. I've got the Steelers at wild card because the Bengals have officially caught up to the Steelers in the AFC North. I think it's about a 1-game difference now after this week. 3-5 to 4-3. So it's still close. The Steelers losing definitely helps. So I've dropped them down a tier. Chargers, they bounce back after a loss to the Colts, and they win their Thursday night game pretty handedly. Props to them. I think me and you were both a little worried that they may drop that game on Thursday night, but they get the win. Jacksonville, we were all talking. There was a point there where I may have had them in Super Bowl tier after they beat the Chiefs. I'm glad I didn't do that because they've lost like multiple games in a row, and now they're 4-3, and Houston is charging. The Texan is charging, Darrell.
Yeah, but you know what though? We talked about in Jacksonville, right, at the beginning of the season. We thought they would struggle some. That I don't even, yes, that goes against in their standings, but I don't count that overseas game. I'm so down on these overseas games. Yeah. They looked like a shell of a high school team when they were playing against the Rams overseas. I still think that Jacksonville is a much better team than we had anticipated. I think that the Colts are the cream of that division, but Houston and Jacksonville may have something to say about this before it's all over with.
Okay. Yeah.
I do want to say this.
Coach Wood sent me something, so I was looking at what he sent me.
Okay, I want to share this, right? So I'm not a Cincinnati lover, but it's good to see Cincinnati lose to the Jets. I meant to say that earlier when we were talking. We kind of went on, but the way people were giving Joe Flacco MVP award after last week, the way he played, and how dare you trade Cleveland, you trade this quarterback for just a 5th round pick. I think yesterday kind of bore out a little bit. You know, Cincinnati is a team that's the cheapest team in the league. They've had some ups and downs. They've had a lot of talking between their players and how great they are. But it was almost poetic justice seeing them lose to the Jets yesterday, and the fashion that they lost at. Let's see how they pick themselves back up. You got the greatest receivers. You've got you got a greatest coach. You got good defensive team. Let's see how they bounce back this week.
Well, since he sent it to me, let me show one of our Game Time podcast guests some love. Wolfgang Wood, Coach Wood, shouting out one of his players. They had a beat cancer showcase, and one of his players dropping 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks, 7-11 from the field.
Right on, Coach Wood. Let's make it happen.
Coach Wood producing some nice talent over there on the West Coast. So a quick shout out to Coach Wood during this Zay's Ways tier list. So we will go ahead. We're going to get back to the tier list. But yes, of course, shout out Coach Wood. I need to bring him on for one of the after hour shows, right? Because
you know what? You all could do
it's like 9 o'clock.
You all could do a combo. You all could do a combo deal. It'd be like dinner time for him.
I know. I could definitely do that.
Sure.
Yeah, because that would be it's only like what 8 o'clock in Cali, and it's like it'll be like 12
end of the game, even if it's 9 o'clock. So you're okay.
Yeah.
3 hour difference. Yeah,
it's 9 o'clock over there right now or something. I'm
talking about at night. When you're doing your midnight.
No, I know. I'm saying like
your midnight howling is just 9 o'clock for him.
All right, back to the tier list. I believe we are at playoff teams, so I'll go ahead and move this up. Tier 2. I have the Chargers twice. Didn't mean to do that. Forget the Chargers are there. They're in wild card. I have the Patriots, Chiefs, and Broncos. That is my that's what I've gotten there. I'm going to delete Chargers real quick. There we go. Darrell, thoughts on this tier?
Man, the way the Broncos are coming on, man, and the Patriots.
I know.
You may have a log jam towards that top if both teams win again next week. You're going to have a log jam at the top.
You think it would be 2013 with the way it's looking, right? You got the Colts, you got the Broncos, you got the Patriots. It's 2013, 2014 all over again. And then obviously
we want the competition, right? We don't want it to be so easy where this team's going to win. No, we want it to be in doubt. And right now, the NFL season has been absolutely in doubt. No one thought the Texans would beat San Francisco. No one thought the Jets would beat Cincinnati. No one thought the Green Bay would go into Pittsburgh and beat them down. And on top of that, remember this? Oh, here we go, Steelers. The terrible towel. How their fans travel. They didn't have to travel, and Green Bay still overrode the stadium yesterday. I thought it was a game in Green Bay, Mr. Brandon.
Nah, Packers fan base is legit.
I thought it was a Packer home game because they're like, "Here we go, Packers. Here we go," and I'm like, "Wait a minute,
go Pack, go!"
Yeah. So good win all around for the Packers, man, and Tucker Kraft. Great game for you, buddy. I got you 2 in my league, so I really appreciate Mr. Kraft and his 29 points for yesterday. Appreciate
the AFC Championship game, Super Bowl tier. I've got the Bills and I've got the Colts. The Colts are absolutely rocking and rolling.
You need to flip that. Colts need to be at top. Bills take a turn down. Colts with that speed.
They're not in a particular order like the NBA one.
Man, listen. Colts, man. I love seeing it for friends of mine that are huge Colts fans. I like seeing them happy, man. So no troll at all. I hope the Colts continue to play well. And shout out for the city of Indianapolis, man.
Yeah, Colts are balling. They are rocking and rolling. Playoffs in the AFC is going to be so interesting, right? Because one of these teams is going to run into Kansas City, and you kind of expect Kansas City to turn up the heat a little bit come then. And then, you've got the Chargers, who I think still will make the playoffs, right? I think there is this scenario where we get 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs because they're all three of their records have been so strong. Chargers already have that win over the Chiefs, and that was in Brazil. I don't know when they play again, I don't know where that will be, whether it'll be in Kansas City or LA. But
so what you're saying is the wild cards are coming out of the West. That's going to be tough, man. You think about, you just said we got Jacksonville, we've got New England.
Well, Jacksonville's shooting itself in the foot every week now.
Think about Jacksonville, New England. You've got obviously Texans as well. And then if someone's coming up to go and clip the Pittsburgh Steelers, could where does that stand? So that'd be interesting to see how that works out. If what you're saying may be accurate, the wild card coming out of the West, that means some good teams going to be out on the outside looking in.
Well, and what's crazy is, right, I have the Chiefs above the Chargers in this tier list, but record-wise, the Chargers are above the Chiefs. They're second, the Chiefs are third. And, you look at it right now, Chiefs, I think, would probably still make the playoffs because, Colts would be the 1 seed. Patriots would technically be the 2 because the Bills are 5-2, Patriots are 6-2.
So that means if we were doing it right now, granted, you got to have even games. Can you imagine if the Bills lose their next game and Patriots win? What you're saying is the Bills not even in the playoffs.
No, they'd be in. They would be
but if the AFC West has those wild card teams.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. And they're not going to expand the playoffs. So somebody's going to be blanked off.
Out of luck.
Yeah.
SOL, that's what they say. All right, top 5. This is what I've got this week. I've got the Colts, I've got the Buccaneers, and I've got the Colts twice. Jesus, I'm struggling today. Don't worry about me, y'all. Struggling. All right. Thought I messed that up. Who do we? Oh, yeah.
We didn't do our rehearsal because we were both working. See, and we had our rehearsal would have been all right. See, but it happens. Man. That's what happens when you're live, right? There's no takes. There's no second takes. It's all one take, man. So it's all good. Don't worry about it. We got so many good things happen over the next couple of weeks. I think the
viewers
will be. I think people will be okay with that.
Colts, Bucks, Patriots, Eagles, Broncos is my top 5. Honorable mention goes to the Dolphins for scraping out a win and the Chargers for bouncing back on Thursday Night Football. Darrell, thoughts on the top 5?
Can't really argue with it much. I mean, you're going to be nitpicky, and you could try to be nitpicky, but no, I think we're okay there. I mean, I think the Dolphins having a good win yesterday, but again, the Falcons, this is their second ass whooping they've taken though. So maybe there's something there. Charlotte. Carolina whooped them 30-0. Then they turn around and get thumped by the Dolphins, who, as I said earlier, they probably would have fired their coach and benched their quarterback had the outcome been what we thought would have been an Atlanta blowout. And now the flip now. So good win, Dolphins.
No, I agree with you. It's been a fun week for NFL. It's been an interesting week in college football, but something also kicked off this week, and that was the NBA. The NBA is back this week. I know Darrell is so excited to watch SGA, watch Jalen Brunson, watch some guys get to the free throw line.
Don't forget Harden. James Harden.
James Harden. It's been a good week of NBA.
Talk about Mount Rushmore. Talk about the Mount Rushmore. Now that's a hell of a Mount Rushmore of foul baiters right there. I tell you.
I am through the roof to know that the NBA is back. Victor Wembanyama is going to scare the league for years to come at this point. I said it on the After Hours show. I said, man, Wemby gets about 6 MVP, 6 DPOIs. I already said if he gets 3 rings, 3 championships, there don't even need to be a GOAT debate at that point. He'll have it locked up.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
He don't need 6 rings.
Let's see. But you know what? You remember what someone told us when we were talking about having a statue of someone that said, don't give them a statue because what happens after they retire, they may embarrass you. So let's not give Wemby the GOAT status just yet. He may be doing something in France that we don't know about. So let's hold off a little bit. He's a hell of a player. He right now it looks like he can't be stopped. But It's a long way to go. This is still only 3 games into the season.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Darrell, but man,
I'm saying the dude's great. I'm not saying
I know, but
I'm just saying let's pump our brakes a little bit and see how it all shakes out. Listen, they reminded us 4,500 to win the title. Okay, so just so you know,
man, I already put money on FanDuel. They're winning the Western Conference Finals.
Listen, I've got some money involved too, because plus 4,500. Yeah, I'm okay with trying to get a little bit of that action. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit.
That block, I think this even led to a 3, but they showed me the replay here, or is it this play right here? I mean, this is just unreal. Give me that off the glass. I think it's right here. No, they keep showing me a replay. I want to see the 3. I think it was in this game. He gets a block and then a 3, and it's just like, I mean, what can this guy just not do? Great awareness on the court. I mean, we're witnessing something special.
As I got Harrison Barnes. See that?
Yeah. Shout out Walter Offit. Shout out Harrison Barnes in South Carolina. I'm getting the next tier list pulled up. Darrell, I know you haven't watched a lot of NBA, but you've been keeping tabs on it a little bit. Any team that you're a little you're a little interested in that shocked you a little bit? I know
really easy. San Antonio Spurs.
There you go. Fair enough. It's great.
Listen,
I was right. I was right. I said it. I said they were going to be great. I said Wemby's going to take a leap. All they got to do now is get to the Western Conference Finals.
No.
I will be golden.
You're wrong. I don't need them just get to the Western Conference Final. I've got some dead presidents that need them to get to the finals and win it. So I'm not waiting for another year. I won't get plus 4,500 next year. So I want to take advantage of my plus 4,500.
I guess
I want to retire early, man. So look.
No, I took the plus a couple of days ago. So I am set on the Spurs. I think they win the Western Conference now. So confidence is fully there. But from one tier list to the next, I don't have the graphic to use this time around. It is time for Zay's Ways NBA tier list. Get that graphic up. Right on cue with the I don't know my instruments. It's fine. All right, let's move on. The last thing, the ching. I don't remember what
symbol.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Let's start with the West.
Off the rails.
We usually start with the East. We'll start with the West. Draft lottery. I've got the Utah Jazz. They haven't looked too bad, right? They blew out the Clippers in their opening night game, but like Darrell said, we're only a week into the year. We can still predict this pretty far out, and I predict they will not be good. They may not be as bad as some of the teams I have in that I don't know tier, specifically the Sacramento Kings. You lose to a Lakers team with no Luka, no Bron, and you let Austin Reeves put 51 on you. And DeAndre Ayton looked pretty good. I'm going to talk about that today as well. But Memphis doesn't look too bad, Darrell. And, I remember when I first presented this tier list, we had them down in draft lottery because of all the injuries, but they're not playing too bad. But I'm still putting them in I don't know, because I don't think they have looked that good to compare to some other teams right now. Obviously, I think the only change I'm making when you look at this bottom tier from playing on down is I probably want to move I probably want to move Phoenix down and New Orleans up. I was very impressed. I watched the New Orleans game against San Antonio. I can't deny it. I think we talked about it a little bit. Zion had a great game against Wemby. He even dunked over him a little bit. I wouldn't say it was a complete dunk over, but Wemby was underneath the basket when Zion got the dunk. But I like how New Orleans looks so far.
Well, let me here's the thing. They're still 0-2.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And Memphis is 1-2. They got their brakes beat off them by Miami.
Miami.
They beat a Pacer team who's had at that time had 5 guys out.
Yeah,
and then they slipped by New Orleans. So again, but that's the thing, right? You said they're 2-1. Oh man, they're surprising. Depleted Pacers team, New Orleans team that hasn't won a game, and you get the doors blown off you by the Heat. Man, I get it. We're going to talk about it because people are excited about the NBA. I get it. I see it on social media. Man, I'm gonna pause a little bit right now.
No, you're all good.
I gotta wait till the dust. So those 4 teams that you see on the 3 on the I don't know. I still would say those 4 are lottery teams. Those bottom 4, I would say Jazz, New Orleans, teams,
honestly,
Memphis are lottery teams.
When you look at the 6 teams in play-in and I don't know combined, I think the 2 that I'm more willing to drop into draft lottery right now is Phoenix and Sacramento. I mean, I just have no. Obviously, New Orleans is 0-2. Obviously, yeah, you made great points about both New Orleans and Memphis. But I think
right now, man. I mean, guys are getting their legs underneath. The injuries are crazy right now.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. What we don't talk about: these guys are not coming to preseason in shape. Yeah, they're in some type of shape, but not NBA shape. And that's the other thing. You give them about 10 to 15 games, like Mark Boiler talked about. Give them about a month in before they get into their basketball shape, right?
Yeah.
You know, so again, I'm okay with this right now. It's going to be a lot of movement, especially in that bottom 4 that you got right there.
Team I'm very impressed with out of all the teams in here, right? And Clippers, I'm not too impressed with either after the Jazz blowout. But there is a team that I have not mentioned that I am super, super impressed with. That's the Portland Trail Blazers. Very well put together team. Obviously, we know the circumstances surrounding a certain coach, but he is no longer a part of the team. The head coach is Tiago Splitter. We're not going to touch the gambling stuff here on this pod. We're just talking hoops. And Portland, from the transfer from Chauncey Billups to Tiago Splitter, it has still worked. The Blazers have looked good in Darrell. I haven't gotten to watch them. I watched them a little bit throughout as the season has kicked off. But props to the Blazers. They did lose to the Clippers last night by 7, but I like what they're doing so far. Obviously, they're 1-2, but they've played really strong.
They have,
first
right?
3 games.
They have, and they've galvanized, right? They kicked the shit out of the Warriors the other night.
Yes,
and put the clamps on them.
And they lost to Minnesota in their opening game off Ant being Ant.
And then Ant's out now, right? So it's just crazy right now. But I like Portland because, man, they're probably in the locker room saying it's us against the world. No one really
got a shot, man.
That type of thing going on.
And we just talked about it with the other teams in this tier. Why not them in the play-in? Because we're going to scroll up right now here in a second because you look at this playoff tier, right? So I've got 8 teams already in the playoffs, but if you look at it, technically Clippers and Blazers would be playing in the play-in. And right now, I'm going to call it like it is. You know, Cooper Flagg probably had his welcome to the league game last night. He played really well. I don't like how Dallas looks 3 games into the season. They got blown out by the Wizards. Wemby puts up 40 on them. They beat who'd they beat yesterday? They beat the Toronto Raptors yesterday. I'm not too impressed with the way Dallas is playing. Now, things will probably be different when Kyrie is back into the lineup. I don't know how much.
But I think even before that, though, man, because again, you got a rookie who's 18 years old.
And they've got Cooper playing point guard. That was my next point.
And right. So they've got to figure out each other, right? And that's the other thing. You know, there's limited, the practices no longer, coaches can't run 3-hour practices anymore, that type of thing. So things are so much more restricted. I would say give the young man a time, give the team an opportunity to kind of get an identity. Some of these teams at the top, they've got identities. We know who OKC is. We know who Denver is. We know who Minnesota is. We know who San Antonio is. We know who the Rockets are. We know who Golden State are. Those teams right there, those first 7 teams, we know their identity. Yeah. I think anyone, even if you're not a Spurs fan or a Rockets fan, their identity, right?
Yeah.
It starts with Dallas. What do we have here? Remember, AD was out last season after the trade, for about 4 weeks. Then he came back, right? So you got that, and then the Rockets, they had trades, but we know it's KD's squad. That's KD's squad, So I'd say let these guys, just like perfect example. Last year's Pacers team start off 10-15.
Yep,
they're bums. They're losers. They don't play defense. Let them settle in, and when the Pacers settled in, they were hard as hell to beat, and that's by anybody, right? So I would say this: Kyrie is going to make a hell of a difference, 100%. But even when he comes back, say he comes back January 10,
Yep.
he's going to need till February 1 because I'm sure he's
go.
working out with around the side and all the things like that.
Yeah.
But, fast the game time speed, right? So I like this list, what you've got, man. And for me, those 8 teams are going to be the playoff teams come April, come middle of April when everything is settled. After your play in and all the other mess, that top 8 teams right there are going to be there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. Obviously, we'll hit on the Lakers. I'll do it last, though. Golden State. I like how Golden State's looked. Kuminga, we talked about this a little bit. Kuminga looks really good. Jimmy looks good.
They let him play.
He said the Warriors would regress a little bit, but it seems like they look strong.
I said they would regress, but also I didn't think they would play Kuminga because they didn't play him last year.
Yeah.
I said their best 3 players are 35. And the reason I said that because I wasn't counting Kuminga because they don't play him. But if you let this young man play, let him cook.
Let him cook. Yeah. There you go, Darrell.
Because that's what I'm saying, man. You got a guy in Steve Kerr who believes his own press clippings, putting a young man on the bench who can absolutely make a difference and help you. And now he's having an opportunity to play. He looks confident. Yeah, they signed him to that 2-year, $48 million deal. That's not earth-shattering money. $24 million a year. I give you an example. Miles Turner signed for more than that.
Yeah.
So with that said, my thought process around this whole dynamic is Kuminga. He gives them something they don't have. A guy that can take it from the back court to the front court in about 2.1 seconds without needing a screen, without needing a flop, without needing to go into the post and he's going to go to work. And if he continues to be allowed to do that, you may want to start sliding him into maybe that top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Maybe. Long season, but I like Kuminga. I remember when they were looking to trade him, and I remember
we were at the draft party thinking that they were going to trade him.
I was like, please trade the Pacers. Please, come on, please. Because you just see something in him, man.
Yeah.
And he looks happy.
He
finally looks happy.
Rockets. I've got the Rockets still above everybody else in this tier. I kind of want to move it. So here's my overall thoughts on Houston right now. I don't think Reed Shepard's a bad player, but the guy can't be your point guard. And and this point guard by committee stuff, Steve Nash said it on the Amazon Prime pregame show. You can't do point guard by committee. And I don't think this point guard by committee stuff is going to work long term. You gotta find a point guard. You gotta find someone that can facilitate the rock because Reed Shepard is not a guy that should be facilitating. He should be catching and shooting for you.
Here's the deal with this, right? So square peg, round hole. So he's the size of a lead guard, right? However, he's a shoot first guy. Yes. If you looked at the game when they had against OKC, when it was trouble, he decided to shoot.
Boy, right? Yeah, he was not hesitating.
But with that said, the 2 games in again. I know I keep saying this. He's a young player still, immense talent, right? He's got to wake up. And I still say, game 25, 30, 35, I think is going to settle if they don't make a move. I think he's talented enough to be the guy, but it's got to be between his ears, man. Yeah, you're not at Kentucky. You've got to be a piece.
I said it on the After Hours show. There's probably 4 to 5 guys better on this roster that score better than you, and you're not even looking to pass to them.
But this is today's world. I got to prove my point. I got to prove who I am. I got to show who I am. Showing who you are doesn't always mean scoring 25 points a game.
Yeah.
I asked our guest yesterday. We talked about you don't have to score a lot to be the impact, right? So again, it's 2 games in. I'm interested to see what they'll look like on 1 December. So they got the talent. They got the talent.
No, I agree. They do. Championship tier. Nothing's changing here. Thunder first. Nuggets second. Timberwolves third. San Antonio fourth. I'll continue.
Hand raised. Can you move San Antonio to 3, please?
I'm not going to argue. You're not going to hear a complaint out of me.
You know why? Because I think Minnesota's backcourt is going to be the detriment. I think it's going to be their coup de grace, right? When you got Rob Dillingham, who's this up and coming 21-year-old player who cannot out minutes a 39-year-old from Lawrence North High School. I'm sorry, man. You talking about backcourt help?
Yeah.
Houston. Listen, the difference is Houston got guys that can score. They got like 5 guys that can score. Minnesota does not have that.
That's a good point.
At the beck and call. So that's why I say San Antonio take over that 4 seed.
Man,
Shoot that 3 seed for Minnesota.
I got to give a shout out to Aaron Gordon. 50-point game. I know he lost to Golden State. I love the mentality, though. They offered him the game ball. He said, I ain't taking that home. We lost.
Well, why would he?
I'm not taking that game ball
hey,
home.
Listen, he's not Giannis when the Pacers took the ball. That's my point. We're so busy. Oh, look what I did. Lost the game.
Yeah.
Good job on his part, man. Staying humble.
50-point game, though. I mean, congrats. And the shooting, absolutely incredible. It was like 10. He shot 10 of 11 from 3, Darrell. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Man, he's on fire. So talk about a heat check.
Yeah.
When you that hot, you got it. You can't not give him the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Lakers won with no Luka and Bron. Shout out to man. 1 point.
Let's go Lakers. Let's go Lakers.
Darrell, I gotta be honest with you. Man. I had never been so happy. I
heard you scream. Listen, I was in the bed. I heard you scream.
You heard me? Yeah. I had never been so proud of my Lakers than last night, man. Austin Reeves, right? Me and you both said it's time to trade this man. It's time to trade this man.
It's still time to trade him.
I you know what? I still agree with you, but I can't. 51 points. He was even rebounding the ball. Defensively, he wasn't playing too. DeAndre Ayton, right? I mean, Anthony Davis, when he went up against Sabonis, he would get scored on and scored on and scored on. Not a good night for Domantas Sabonis. And DeAndre Ayton, we talked about that pick and roll, right? Sets the screen, rolls, catches it about the free throw line. Probably has one of the best touches in the league as a big. Rocking and rolling last night. He had like 15 and 8. That is what I want to see from DeAndre Ayton.
No. You're wrong.
What did he have?
22 and 15.
Oh my goodness, even better. Even better.
You know why? And I said this in the offseason. Yesterday's game, he had no pressure on him. Brown wasn't there. Luka wasn't there. Right? He had no pressure on him. Yeah. The question would be when they come back.
Yes.
And where does he sit? This is who I told you. This is who DeAndre Ayton can be.
Yep.
He can be a 15 and 10, 15 and 12 guy. Not easily, but easily.
He said in the locker room when talking to the press, he said, sometimes the Lakers, his teammates in there, they will mess with him before the game, try to get him amped up, try to get him fired up, try to get him going.
He's not a
the motor. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I like Ayton, man. I've said it. Listen, if he can, if he can bring 15 and 10 to the Lakers on an average, dude, I'm telling you, you probably want to push the Lakers up.
Yeah,
because he can be a threat.
And I give credit to Reddit for this lineup. He keeps running this small ball lineup of Reeves, Smart, LaRavia, somebody else, Rui, and Jared Vanderbilt at the 5. And this lineup, Darrell, we talked about their defense and how bad their defense is. And I said it on the After Hour show. I said there's a cause and effect. Cause, the defense is way better all around from the perimeter into the paint. The effect is rebounding isn't there, but if they get the rebound, obviously with how small this lineup is, they're running on the fast break. They're pushing it down the court. And even with Luka in against Minnesota, they were running this lineup. I think it was Luka. I don't think AR's in, but they're running this small ball lineup.
As much, though. They weren't running as much either. When Luka and Bron are in the game, yes, Bron's still very athletic. Yeah. But when those guys come back, they're not going to run like with the lineup they had last night.
Yeah.
Those guys are going to be there.
And like I said, I like Laravia. I think Laravia defensively, I think that's where he's been brought in for. Offensively, he can score. He can make 3-pointers. So he's doing his role. I was very hard on Vanderbilt after the first night. I'll give Vanderbilt some credit. He got me a little more interested in him in these last 2 games. Still want Gabe Vincent completely off my team without question. Gabe Vincent needs to go. Dalton Connect should be playing more. That's probably my biggest grievance with JJ Redick right now.
I'm looking at the box score. Should we start calling Austin Reeves a foul baiter too? 21 or 22. Really? I didn't realize that.
I didn't get to watch the game until the second half, so I will say that.
Again, here's the thing. Guy score, that's great, right?
Yeah.
I don't put as much a premium on those type of big numbers because you get hot and the way these guys are calling fouls. Yeah. Hey, great game by Austin Reeves. You can't take anything away. It's just you're going to see a lot more of these type of free throw nights with players in these big games.
Brandon Reef. I agree with you, brother. Yes, sir. I agree. I loved this signing when it first happened. I said
I don't think he's a bum, but let's be careful though, because when the team is back together, where does he sit then?
Yeah.
It's great that you like Austin Reeves last night. It's great that he had a great game last night.
Yeah.
But we weren't talking. You're the Laker fan, not me. You didn't see this coming.
51? Right? No, I thought maybe he'd give us 30.
So what I'm saying is we got to pump our brake because remember we were killing Ayton, getting rid of this bum.
I never said that.
Well, no, the Laker fans. We talked about it.
Yeah, they were talking about.
But again, I think we got to settle it in. But I think with Marcus Smart being the addition, he had 8 shots. He was 0-3 from 3-point. Stop, Marcus Smart. You're not a 3-point shooter. Come on, just reel it in, man. Just play good defense and get to the cup when you can. Stop trying to be a 3-point shooter, man.
I assume Brandon is talking about Dalton Connect, but I mean, Brandon, I hope you're talking about Gabe Vincent because Gabe Vincent needs to be sitting.
Gabe Vincent is a keeper, man. Hey,
no,
I'd rather stay in LA.
I'd rather them put Bronny in than Gabe Vincent. I'm tired of watching Gabe Vincent out on the floor. Watching Gabe Vincent makes me want to spoon my eyes out with the spoon. That's how bad Gabe Vincent looks out on the floor. I don't want Gabe Vincent on this roster. I can't handle Gabe Vincent.
Well, he's a good defensive player.
He's a trash defensive player. At that point, let Marcus
Smart He's a good offensive player. Well, what was he there for then? You got the smartest coach in the NBA.
You know what he's there for? You know what he's there for?
I'm going to show you, right?
I'm going to show you what he's here for, Darrell. You see what I'm doing? You see me running back and forth? He's good for cardio. That's what Gabe Vincent's good for. That's all he does. This is all he does every night. Him and Jared Vanderbilt both. They just get cardio in every night. I could go out there and run for 29 minutes and go 0 for 2 for the 3-point line. I can do it too. It's not that hard.
You got to open up and share how you feel because this holding back stuff, I don't know where you're getting this from, but this is ridiculous.
That's what Gabe Vincent does on a regular basis. Yeah.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with Brandon. He's going to be on the bench. Exactly. But that's my point, right?
I disagree. I disagree.
There's only so many minutes you're going to get out.
No, I get it. But I think
going to get his 40. LeBron's going to get his 35. Okay.
Watching those games, JJ Redick would be crazy if Smart does not play when Bron and Luka come back.
So what makes you think JJ Redick is going to be any different than his craziness from last year?
I mean, you keep saying craziness. The only thing he didn't do is not play Jackson Hayes.
Do you have a tail attached to you?
Oh, no, one of my dogs has come back to watch the show.
Hey, everybody, listen, this is live and late breaking. This is the Kennel Show now.
No, I truly think Smart will be back in the line, will play in the lineup regardless of when Bron and Luka
I'd say about 10 to 12 minutes a game.
And you know what? He will make an impact on the defensive side of the ball.
Don't be shooting them threes because
no, I don't need him to shoot. I don't need him to shoot. That's not what he's out there for.
No.
He can hit a couple though.
Yeah, in the gym when it's empty. I mean, not during the game. Man.
I think Smart will continue to see minutes on the floor. I really wish Dalton Connect would see minutes on the floor, but I'm going to let that
13 minutes last night in a tight game. It was 1 of 3, 0 for 2 from 3-point line. Didn't get to the line at all. Dalton Connect, man, is a young guy who's really struggling with finding his way, right?
Yeah.
And if he can't find his way with Bron and Luka not on the floor, he's probably going to struggle all season long.
Yep. All right. Don't want to stay too long on the Lakers. I need to get the young.
What's wrong with that? Hey man, we strike where the iron's hot.
We'll come back to him. I need to get the young and the Laker list graphic up here on StreamYard so we can, and then I'll change everything to purple. We'll do that at some point. But time to go over to the East. Things aren't moving.
We've got 15 minutes too.
Okay. All right. Things aren't moving here when it comes to the Eastern Conference. At the bottom, I've got the Bulls who look, they can be 3-0 all they want.
Hey, they're one seed. What are you talking about? This is
no.
You gotta change that. If you gotta stay consistent. If you're hyped about this season and they're 3-0, you cannot have them in the lottery. You can't.
All right.
You can't have them in the lottery.
They can go there for now. We'll move the Brooklyn trash, the Brooklyn dumpster fire. We'll keep them down here. We'll keep them there. All right, back to normal. Bulls move up to I don't know with the Washington Wizards who blew out the Dallas Mavericks. I've got nothing to say about these three teams at the bottom. I just don't. All right, let's see the top two. As you can see, there has been a lot of movement in this upper tier. Darrell we'll see what Darrell thinks here. My only change that I probably need to make is probably move Atlanta. Where did the Pacers logo go? Right here. I'm going to put the Pacers here. I've got Detroit. Detroit really made me mad a couple nights ago. That is the only reason they're this far back. Obviously, they should probably be ahead of Indiana and Boston, but
move the heat up to where the Sixers are. And you probably want to drop the Pacers down right now, man, to be quite honest. I mean, drop the Pacers and the Celtics. Yeah. I mean, if we're overreacting, right? If we're overreacting, you got two teams that don't have a win.
Yeah.
Regardless, injuries or not, doesn't matter. Either you win or you lose. It ain't, we won, but we had an injury. Or we lost, you lost. So I would drop the Pacers down and the play in right now after 3 games.
I'm going to move Detroit up. See, this tier was so difficult, and I was mad at Detroit. I feel like Detroit has been probably, in my opinion, Detroit has been the most disappointing team for me out of this Eastern Conference right now. I think Orlando has the case to be moved away from this tier 2, but Orlando got a win against somebody, and I was like, okay, they can stay up there for now. But honestly, I'm just gonna put a space between them.
Yeah, it's a little tough right now, man,
because it's really just these two, and even then,
it's closer too. It's closer. The East is closer than the West. So, with that said, too, that's why it's going to be a lot of shake there, man. And I hate to say it, and love my boys to death, man. But, man,
I got to be honest,
you don't have your 3 lead guards from last year. You don't have your rim protector from last year. My only thing I'm pissed about or disappointed with, looking at social media, this was about 2 months ago when people were seeing the J Huff YMCA highlights saying, I see why they got rid of Turner. He's going to dominate.
Ridiculous.
He was playing in the YMCA, y'all.
Ridiculous.
There's the reason
how I said
the reason why he's a $3 million a year player.
You know how I said you can't do point guard by committee. You can't do center by committee either. But to be fair, I said it on my after hour show to Bucks fans. You're getting the Miles Turner experience because he played a great first game and then he's putting up 4 and 6 the next. So I mean, it's up and downs with Turner. Yeah, but you can't replace his peak when you're Indiana.
And here's the other thing, though, right? And this is why I said to Mark in the summer, I said I think he'll regret making that decision because even though he was getting a lot of negative pub from here, people saying not so nice things, they're going to say even worse things in Milwaukee, but at least he was ours for 10 years, right? Yeah. And we saw the good Miles, the bad Miles, and the indifferent Miles. And the one thing about Miles, what he's going to do, he's going to protect the rim. I don't care if it's 4 and 6 or not. He's going to protect the rim, and he's going to alter quite a few shots during that game. As I've looked at his highlights, and yes, I don't like Milwaukee, but I've watched a little bit of Miles' stuff because I like Miles. He doesn't look comfortable.
No.
He doesn't look comfortable. But again, it's 3 games in. He doesn't look comfortable right now.
I really like Atlanta still. Some people are talking about Trae Young doesn't look good. Guys, Trae Young has a way better roster this year, and he's passing the ball. Obviously, they're 1 and 2 off the top of my head, or 2 and 1, one of the two. I like how Atlanta looks. I think Trae Young He's dishing the ball out. Jalen Johnson's looked really good. Porzingis, I've got money on Porzingis today, over 16.5. So Porzingis, I need you to do good today.
You better get it early because he's going to get you about 57 games this year.
And then I like Milwaukee for as much as, we harped on their roster. They've got guys scoring. Cole Anthony putting up the guys you expected, the guys that Milwaukee signed, expecting them to produce, and Kuzma and Turner aren't producing. But the guys that they just brought in, like Cole Anthony, and
I don't think they would expect Kuzma for the time he's been there. He hasn't performed.
They know now. They know now.
They should have known
at the time. They traded him for Middleton, and they expected him to come in and produce.
But that was because Middleton was coming off those injuries, and they felt like he was fading a lot faster than Kuzma was. But which I get.
Cole Anthony, I've always been high on Cole Anthony since Orlando drafted him. And then I also like Gary Trent Jr. He's still producing a lot of scoring. So I like what Milwaukee is doing.
I like it because I think Miles is going to start to play better. I think he'll play better.
And then Giannis is obviously a monster
as the season goes. And I think them two working together to protect the paint is going to be formidable as the season wears on. Miles is going to get more comfortable. He's going to get more comfortable. But again, I'd still say ultimately he's going to regret leaving Indiana and going to Milwaukee. I don't think it's going to be the fruits of his labor that I think some of it was, I'll show you, I don't have to stay here. And I think that's some of the frustration, some of the things he said. But I take no offense to any of the things he said from a Pacer perspective, because I promise you, I've heard 20 times worse in Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Gamers Fieldhouse, whatever they called it, about him personally than anything he said about the Pacers organization publicly.
I've got the Rockets so high up, and they're 0-2, but they've played some tough teams. They played
Detroit.
Again,
it's early, right? We know they're not going to be a lottery team.
No, unless something catastrophic. But
injuries be damned, right?
Games I'll be watching tonight. Obviously, I'll be watching the Lakers and the Blazers at 10:30. I'll keep an eye on the Grizzlies and Warriors because it's a playoff rematch. That'll be on NBC, not NBC, but Peacock. You've got the Nuggets and the Wolves. No, it looks like no Ant tonight. He's questionable with the hamstring, so we'll see what happens there. Raptors play the Spurs. Thunder play the Mavericks. And the one I will be watching.
I look forward to the Thunder Maverick game. I will probably watch a quarter and a half of that game.
The one I'll be watching the most tonight, though, obviously is the Lakers and the Blazers. But the game I will be paying the most attention to is Cavs and Pistons. That'll be a really good one. Definitely will move the Pistons up if they can win that game.
Look out for Jimmy Neutron. I keep telling y'all, Duncan Robinson. I mean, he
had a good game. He had a good game,
man. He's got all those tough guys around him, man. Cade Cunningham is a hell of a lead guard.
Yep.
Man, Duncan Robinson, man, that was a sneaky good get, man. Sneaky good get. I like Duncan Robinson, aka Jimmy Neutron, man. I like him a lot. I really do.
Well, folks, that is going to do it. Darrell, you got any final thoughts?
I'm just happy to be here, man.
We're rocking and rolling.
Think about what's going to happen in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks.
We're working on some stuff. So, folks, if you like what you're seeing with the Game Time Pod, obviously, if you got some music on the live streams now, I may use this for when we intro, too. This is actually a nice, chill little beat for the live stream show. It's called Daydreaming.
Hey, we doing some different things, man. We on the come up, man. We got some good stuff going on.
It's called Daydreaming. I'm daydreaming right now. I'm just thinking about that 51-point game from AR last night. So
I'm thinking about my DraftKings payout this weekend.
Hey, I'm up. I've made about $200 already on this NBA season.
Yeah,
so
I'm settling down now. I may do some stuff this weekend in Colorado, but right now I'm a chill.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Lamar. He's been helping me with my picks this season. So I'm going to shout out one of his picks today. Jordan Poole over 11.5 points, and Kristaps Porzingis over 16.5 points. On Prize Picks, it's 2 times. It'll double your money. So if you bet 10, you'll win 20. I will be doing that pick today as well. So there's a pick for you guys. if you're in the chat. Thank you guys.
Hey, there's a segment coming. There's another.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna work on that. My friend Lamar, he's done really well with the picks. He has like a pick finder and everything else that gives him real time stats. So I told him, hey, you give me a pick every day and we're live. I'll shout out one pick per show. Game time after hours later on tonight. This is what you can look forward to. It'll be a recorded show, 15 to 20 minutes, nothing more than that. Those videos have done absolutely well. The Wemby video, 500 views. Luka video, 300 views. So
keep it going, everybody. Keep it going. Look for some big things from the Game Time group. Hopefully we got about 4 nice surprises that the announcement. That'd be nice. We got one. Let me think. Man, we got those 4 announcements. That'd be all right.
Go Lakers! Woo! We're rocking and rolling. I haven't even
Roll Tide.
You see how I didn't even complain about Dallas losing, man? Because you know what? We're in La La Land now. We're out of Jerry World. So that's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in to Game Time Live. We will see you guys next time.